Hey everyone, welcome back. We're continuing on our series of ride and reviews from the Harley demo days. In this video, we'll be talking about the 2023 Harley Nightster. The Harley Nightster as a name had a short run from 2007 to 2012 as part of the Sportster lineup. In 2021, Harley announced they were discontinuing the Harley Sportster Evo, and they brought the Harley Sportster S in, which we'll review in the next video. They then brought out a new redesigned Harley Nightster. This Harley Nightster has the new Revolution Max 975 engine. The Revolution 975 produces 70 foot-pounds of torque and 90 horsepower. The one that I'm riding is the Nightster Special, which includes the 4-inch touchscreen gauge system, passenger pillion, and a couple of other features. Both the Nightster and the Nightster Special weigh about 480 pounds, have a 3-gallon tank, and a 27-inch seat height. Wheelbase is a short 61¼ inches. It has bar end mirrors. Price starts about $15,200 for the base Nightster after shipping and charges. Harley's intent for this new Nightster is to replace the old Sportster Evo. The Harley website talks about the Nightster being a bike made to make your own. The Sportster was known for being one of the most customizable bike models out there, so there's no doubt that Harley is hoping the Nightster will fill the gap that was left open when they discontinued the Sportster Evo. Is it working? Well, not so far from what I can see. I'm not sure I've seen any of these out there, maybe one, maybe two. A lot of people are still hanging on to their Sportsters. What I have seen is an increase in the number of Indian Scouts on the road, the direct competitor to Harley in the small cruiser realm. I personally think that one of the biggest reasons is the engine. The Sportster Evo and the Indian Scout have your traditional V-twin engine with the V-twin feel and sound. The Revolution Max engine does not have that. Let's transition over to the ride and talk about that. Technically, this is a V-twin, but it doesn't feel like one or sound like one at all. To me, it really feels more like the inline engines that the Japanese sports bikes use. It performs well enough, but don't get the idea that this is going to feel like a traditional V-twin, because it doesn't. Next, let's talk about the controls. With the Nightster and Sportster S, Harley has moved away from the traditional Harley handlebar setup. They now have the blinker controls for both left and right on the left handle, like, well, almost every other motorcycle out there except Harley cruisers. The rest of the controls are different than what I'm used to as well, but not dramatically so. The on-off button is different, but not bad. I actually like it a little better. Let's talk handling on this bike. I ride a Street Glide that weighs over 800 pounds. Getting on this 480-pound bike was quite an adjustment. I got on this thing and started riding, and I honestly felt like I was riding a motorized bicycle. This thing is so light. So yes, it took about half the ride for me to get used to how light the bike is and start to take advantage of that weight to push the corners. Once I got used to it, it made the ride a lot more fun. I can't say that even then I fully enjoyed the ride. The riding position on this bike is slightly forward, not full forward like a sports bike, but about halfway between upright and a sports bike. Foot controls are in the mid position. At higher speeds, without a windshield, and in the slightly forward position, the wind was pulling upwards on my helmet. It felt like if my helmet wasn't strapped onto my chin, it would have come off. One thing I didn't like was the gear shifter peg. It is way too small. Also, the shifting was so light and the shifter peg so small, I sometimes had trouble knowing if I had actually shifted gears or not. I jumped from second to fourth once because I didn't think I had shifted into third, and so I hit the shifter peg again. I know that's something you get used to, but I think it could be designed a little bit better. This bike rides dramatically different than your typical cruiser, but once you get used to it, it is fun and quite nimble. It's not fun enough for me to want to buy one. I'm just too much of a V-twin cruiser guy, and this bike strays too far off of that beaten path, particularly the Revolution Max engine. I personally think this and the Sportster S are Harley's attempt to reach the younger crowd, as the big V-twin cruiser crowd is getting older and older. Is it working? I'm not convinced based on what I see out there on the roads. But there it is. This is the Harley Nightster. That is it for this ride. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Take care, everyone. God bless.